It was a really hard-fought game. Obviously give credit to Creighton. They made a few more plays than we did. We wanted to, be physical and be tough and defend, and I thought we did a good job of that. And, we just, Creighton took some shots away from us and made us take some difficult shots that, unfortunately, we didn't convert, and they did. So, it was a good game.
LJ came out with that 3 to go 12 early third quarter, and then you guys just kind of chipped away. How did you find yourselves back in that game?
I think we on the defensive end started to communicate a little bit better, push them maybe another foot or two farther away, make sure we didn't give them any layups. And then I think, we got into a rhythm offensively and made them play defense for maybe 20 or 25 seconds, and maybe that tired them out offensively for a little bit as well, because they're obviously so talented.
From a rebounding perspective, offensive rebounds weren't really there in the first half, and then you started to pick them up in bulk in the second half. What changed?
Just being aggressive. We talked about, they're a really good team. We've played we have a great non-league schedule and a great schedule. We've played a lot of ranked teams, and in order to beat a ranked team, you have to go be aggressive and get it, and we weren't in the first half. And I thought in the second half, we got a little more aggressive, and I think it helped us on the offensive and defensive end.
You guys were held to 2 points most of the fourth quarter. Do you feel like most of that was Creighton's defense or your offense?
Well, I think it's a great question. That Creighton played really good defense, and obviously they scout us really well. But Amari missed his 2 free throws, that hurt, and then she missed 2 layups on steals. You got to make those. She feels bad about it. She's a great player. She just missed them, And then Gray, was really challenged well. They did a really good job of challenging all Gray's shots, number 21 for us. And I think, she hasn't played against this level consistently before, except this year. So she'll get used to it. And, she's a great player and a hard worker. But we have to find a way to make a couple more shots.
So this is your 10th time playing Creighton in the last 3 and change seasons.
Oh, God.
Just how important is this matchup in terms of growing, Big East women's basketball and this, kind of a budding rivalry going here?
Yeah, I thought the crowd was great, and the Creighton fans are always fantastic, supportive of their team. It's a hard place to play, Creighton, and you've been here before. I think it's a great rivalry, but we got to start winning a couple of games in this rivalry. We lost 3 times last year. The year before we lost 2 of 3. This year we've lost 1. At some point, we've got to start winning some of these games. And they're really good, and they're really talented. And it's easier said than done. But I was pleased on how we didn't back down. We got down 12. It could have gotten ugly, and we didn't allow it to.
Baines is by far your most efficient scorer. Can you talk about how important she was to keeping this game close?
Yeah, she's a first-team all-conference player. She's played against them in obviously all these years, but also in the 3-on-3 tournament too, where we played them as well. She's just getting better, and she's in great shape, and she's just a really hard-working young lady. But we need to support her. We need that second, third scorer, and Micah needs to, make some of those shots. She knows that. Savannah is usually a very good shooter, and she was a little off today. And Brazil missed a couple of shots she would make, and Kay's got to get downhill more, and she's not. And Kay's an important part of this team. She's as important as anybody. Creighton's a tough match for her, but she drove it twice, got blocked. She's got to find a way to get the ball up on the rim to score, because she's strong enough and quick enough to get by them.
You guys seem like hit a little bit of a rut after the UNLV win, but it seems like you played well against UConn. You were in the game today. You beat St. John's. You like the trajectory of where you're going right now?
That's a really great point. You're right, and it was frustrating. I wish UNLV wasn't the last game before the break, because I think we've really struggled coming back from the break with our consistency, shooting the ball, our shape. We've gotten ourselves back in shape the last 2 weeks, which is why we've played better, but we weren't in good shape. We came out and lose a home game to Providence, and a home game to Villanova, and it's hard to lose home games in this league. And then lost a home game to Marquette, where it was tied in the second half, and they just outran us. So I like the trajectory that we're getting in better shape, but I am concerned that offensively we're not making shots that we normally would make. We've got to make them. You got to find a way to make them. You can't shoot the percentages we're shooting. And yes, Creighton had something to do with it today, but so did St. John's. So at some point, you got to make some hard shots. I watched the St. John's game against DePaul, and one kid had 39, another kid had 36. They're making some shots, and Azana's doing everything she can, but we need some support around her. We really do. And we're missing both our big kids, which we thought would really help us get some points inside. And hopefully they'll be back at some point, but that hasn't helped either.
Even with today's loss, for only one game on the 5 seed, how important do you think it is to get that bye in the tournament?
The 5 seed's important, more so ever that yes, you want to have a bye, but two, if you look at 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or even 10, Xavier's struggling a little bit, and they're playing better. They were winning yesterday a lot of the third quarter against Providence, but you don't want to play another game, not just for tiredness' sake, but because the other teams are all relatively evenly matched. I mean, Butler gave a great game to Marquette. We had a close game today. Providence played them relatively close. It's hard. Georgetown's a good team. I mean, as you'll see.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks.